Good to have you on this episode of Dexter's Bridge Show. My name is Dexter and I'm your host. Have you subscribed to this channel? Because I see many people just forget to subscribe. You're carried away by all the nice things they forget to subscribe. So now, in 3, 2, 1, hit the subscribe button. Yeah? Are you at it? Have you seen it? Yes? Good. Subscribe. By the way, have you seen our movie? The short movie, very interesting one. My wife had to push us to do that production, and many people have been giving very wonderful reviews. So please just scroll down there, you see the movie, take some time and watch it. Life happens. You've heard about that before. Life happens. People have this wonderful idea of life, well planned out to do everything, all the due diligence, they dot their I's and cross their T's. But in the midst of all the perfection, life just happens. That is the story of my guest today, who at her prime, life hit her when she thought everything was going well. The beautiful thing about the stories we tell here is that all through the pain and everything that goes in between, God comes through, makes things perfect, and their ugly story turns to be a message for inspiration. I'm joined by my guest today. She's a businesswoman, a banker, and philanthropist who went through the highs and the lows, and God restored her. Ambassador Adaora Chukwuma. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode.
Thank you.
And it's been a long time coming. I've been chasing you all over the place. Thankfully, you were here. She's a very busy person. Thank you.
Very busy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm really grateful.
Your dreams as a girl. I mean, tell us about it. Growing up, your dreams as a girl.
I've always wanted to be a lawyer, not even a banker. All my life, I wished to be a lawyer, but life happens, like we say. I've always wanted to be a billionaire. I've always wanted people to hear about me, people to know me. I've always wanted to help. That was my dream. Helping people was right from when I was a child. So it's not like I just started. It has always been my dream to be a philanthropist. But along the line, life happens, but I'm back to my dream. I'm chasing my dream. I'm
sure you were the type that would go to school and share your lunch, give it to everybody.
In fact, I share everything I have.
Not come back home and your mom was spanking you. What is this? Can you imagine? Yeah.
So it's been a wonderful journey from when I was 19 till date.
When would you say you got your first shock in life? What was the first event that started, giving you the sour grapes?
My marriage. I got married very early.
Okay.
I got married at 19.
Whoa, 19?
Yes, 19.
You must be a lover guest.
I was very beautiful. So men were actually coming, but this particular guy just came and swept me off. So I got married, but that was not my desire. That was not the man destined for me. I can categorically tell you that. But because life happens and my parents weren't that rich to send me to school. So he did. He actually sent me to uni. After secondary school, he did. He paid the fees and all that. I had my first daughter at 2003. The second one came shortly after. And the second one happens to be a girl. That was where...
So 2 girls?
2 girls. The shock of my life started when I had that girl. Because he refused to come to the hospital. He was expecting her to be a boy. Well, it happens to be a girl, very beautiful girl.
So your challenges started because you had 2 daughters.
2 daughters.
And
he wanted a male child. That's where my challenges started.
We'll talk about this in the movies. And
mine is actually a true life story.
It's just a stereotype.
Yeah.
People think just stereotype, want to talk about these things. But so because you had a second daughter, things started going south and sour. So what followed after?
Well, the man stopped taking care of us. He refused to give us money. He wasn't forthcoming anymore. He doesn't want to see us in the house. He got to some extent that he was bringing in other women into the house.
Whoa.
While we were still there. Not behind me, right before me. My mom had to come take me out of the marriage. It's a devastating situation. It's an emotional moment, a tormenting one. But that was not, even though that's part of the shock of my life, the greatest one that we had to now take this drastic decision was when everything gone diabolical.
Diabolical, like he went outright diabolical.
Yes, something happened. I was posted to Sokoto for my youth service because I actually graduated in his house. So I was posted, I was posted to Sokoto. Upon my return, one of the days I was going for youth, these are CDI meetings, and I wanted to wear my jacket, and I found out that here, there was this sharp cut. You will know, when something is torn, you actually differentiate between when it was ripped.
Cut,
yes, so it was ripped off. And I went to him and I said, nah, what happened to this? And he was like, what's the meaning of that? Why am I asking him? So I had to go to my mom, and my mom said to me,
okay, you didn't wear the khaki?
No, I refused to wear it. Yeah. There was a prophecy that came before that incident. I was warned to be careful that someone wants to make me mad. There was a prophecy that came before that incident. So I remember the moment I wanted to wear that, and I anointed my hand. I'm a very spiritual person, very prayerful. You can see me do fashion, do everything, but when it comes to the things of the spirit, the things of God, I'm very sensitive.
But you shouldn't be raggedy because you're spiritual.
Exactly.
Being raggedy.
Oh, yes. So I prayed and I anointed my hand, and Holy Spirit took me directly.
Exactly.
So I went to my mom and I said to her, Mama, this is what happened. And my mom said, no, they've gone extreme. So we're actually from the same place. Anambra, Okuzu, same place. So my mom went to the father and said, she went to my father's people because my father is late, and she went to report the situation. Yes, he was late. And my people said no, that they will have to get to the root of it and know what happened. That was when the man said he wasn't interested in the marriage anymore, that we should leave. So I left with my daughters. But, as a young girl, I didn't want to leave. I was thinking of
the stigma.
Yes,
being out of your matrimonial home.
Exactly. In as much as I was still very young, I was 22 when I was leaving the marriage. I had beautiful opportunities. I was still very young, but I didn't want to leave. That stigma, I didn't want it. I went back one day to go plead with this man. I could remember. Today, I look into my compound and I see fleet of cars. I remember those days. I had to back the younger one, and I was holding the first one. We got to his house and he said we should leave. The lady he was actually dating and he wants to marry was in the house. So she was sitting down in the parlor. When I walked in, my daughter's, he refused to open the door and he said, leave. That trauma, as young as my daughter was, she still remembers it.
Jesus.
How my daddy was pushing my mommy, and my mommy fell down. You see her trying to describe the incident and all of that. So we left. That was when I took that decision. And that rejection propels me to where I am today. It prepares you for a greater height, a greater projection.
Exactly.
So it's the trauma and part of my experience is a very emotional one. Having to cater for those children myself, as young as I was
of course,
then.
you're dealing with the emotional burden, the economic burden, having to parent two girls, and you were very young.
Very young. But I had to take those responsibility as God may have it. I walked down my transfer, my youth service to Delta State.
Okay, from Sokoto at the time.
From Sokoto to Delta. And that's where my success story began.
Started.
I was posted to this office, Deputy Governor's office. I served under the then Elwe, the Deputy Governor Elwe, and we're able to, being a dogged person and life experience and all that, you don't have a choice. Looking at those children, you want to put a smile, you want to give them the best. I had to start working so hard. I was hawking, I was selling so many things. I was going to people's shop, I go carry their clothes, their wares, and I sell as a copper. I bought the car as a copper.
You bought your first car?
Oh, yes, as a copper. I even bought the first land as a copper. Because I was selling to all these politicians and but I was very hot. Everybody was, even with the two children, everybody was coming after me. Men were coming, but I'm not a saint, but I was a reserved person. I knew what I wanted, and I go for what I wanted. Even in this second marriage, I had opportunity to settle with people's husband, but I said no. Yes, someone might think, oh, so they might describe you as somebody who has 2 children, you're fairly used and all of that. But God gave me the best. Yeah, he's single, he never had a child before, and we're doing wonderful in the marriage. God has been faithful, he's been blessing us. And that is what also propels me into helping people. My greatest joy is to plant smiles. Nothing gives me joy but to see you smile. Nothing gives me joy that you walk into my office and I know I can handle that situation and I refuse to do it. I won't find peace.
Guys, you see, life has a way of knocking you out flat, below the belt. It happens every time. Whether you're up there or down here, saint or sinner, life will come and hit you in places you don't expect. When you are down on the ground, there's no point in crying and being all sulky and wishy-washy. Put yourself together, take everything you have and launch. Give life the fight it doesn't expect. Because life expects you to be all sulky when you are down there. Give life that fight it doesn't expect. We'll be back after this break. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're still on Dexter's Bridge Show. Thank you for staying tuned. You're still on to Dexter's Bridge Show. Before the break, we heard this rather epic story. By the way, I talked about the movie. Go and see that movie. Some of these things sound like they are just stories in the movies to meet people who have been through life's hard knocks. Ambassador Adaora Chukwuma has been telling us nerve-chilling stories of her encounter with a failed marriage, rejection, 2 daughters, and she had to raise them alone. So I want to ask you, man, what would you say was the most challenging point as a single mother, raising those 2 lovely girls?
Okay, will I say the sexual harassment was one of the challenging points. Having men coming around you because they feel you have need, or you have children to cater for, wanting to take advantage
of you.
That's terrible. But I had this strong will. Like I said before, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a goal-getter. I fight to win. I don't fight to lose. And I don't take no for an answer. So that was my driving force, not giving in.
So men actually come to pray on you
yes,
because
a lot of men were coming.
Yes,
a lot of men were coming after me. Married men, single men, and all of that. But I knew what I wanted, and I went for what I wanted. Those were most of the challenging points, or trying times for me. However, God was faithful. God was merciful. Like I said, I served under the Deputy Governor's office, and I was able to do 1 or 2 projects that gave me millions of naira, even as a copper.
So can you remember what your first opportunity that launched you into significant
My
finances?
first opportunity was the CDI project we did for Delta State government, going for free medicals in different communities.
Okay.
So we're able to raise funds from the state government, and we made some money from that project.
I don't think that was a coincidence, because it is said that luck happens to people who are prepared. She has told us a story of how she was very enterprising, having to go to people's shops, pick wares, and go sell. So opportunities come to people when you are prepared, not just wishing. If you were a lazy girl just sitting and lazing around, you wouldn't have recognized an opportunity.
Honestly, and you know, something just struck me now. Remembering this particular project and what I'm doing now, you can see it's actually a call.
Exactly. You
have not remembered. I'm telling you,
medical outreach to people.
Yes, and this is something I do back to back. I go to hospitals, I pay hospital bills
for people.
All my birthdays, I do free medicals for people and all of that. I just remembered. Wow.
We'll come to that. But one would think that you would have become a bitter woman. I mean, looking for opportunities to pay back all the women.
No, I wasn't bitter. I'm a happy person. I forgive easily. And to think I even remember one of the reasons why the marriage broke was the man was seen as at that time. I remember the day we went visiting with these girls, and she was sitting in the parlor. She was just sipping and drinking juice and wine. And we walked in and the man said we should leave. She was still sitting down there. But can I shock you? You don't fight people with destiny. I think I'm a child of destiny. That particular lady one day called me on the phone. Not her pastor called me and said, Adaora. And I responded, I don't know you, sir. Who are you? He said, he's Pastor John, if I remember. And I said, okay, I was with my husband. We were in Lagos. And he said to me...
Okay, you were now married.
Yes, I was now married. And he said to me, where are you? I said, I'm in Lagos. He said, please, I need a favor from you. I said, what's the favor? He said, can you remember Ndidi? I actually remember the name because of the way he threw the question at me. But I pretended not to. I said, no, I can't remember. He said, I should think. Said Ndidi, she lived in Onitsha, this, and he now reminded me a bit of the story. And I said, wow, oh, Ndidi, how is she? I hope she's fine and all of that. He said, yes, but that he needs me to forgive the lady. I said, why? That lady, as in her coming into the marriage, was the reason why I am
there.
Exactly. So I said to him, I'm forgiving her long time ago. And he said to me, no, Ndidi will have to come and see me. I said, okay, my husband now tapped me and said, I should agree. I said, that's fine, she can come. And he walked into my office one day, she knelt down. I was in my office when she called and said she was in Asaba, she wants to come and see me. I said, please come. Pastor, when I saw this lady, I was in tears. You know why I was crying? I looked at the bag she was carrying. I looked at her, I looked at the mother. I remember the father said to me, that you will be great. Why are you worried about this man? She knelt down. The mother knelt down.
Wait, sorry, whose father said to you?
The girl.
The girl's father?
Yes. We met along the line now. I had to report the lady to her father.
While you're still trying to...
Yes, to make peace. Marriage, yes, yeah. So...
And the girl's father told you...
Yes.
That you will be great.
That I will be a great woman. That he sees me in the government. That was the man's message. And he also said something... At this point, you had not gone to NYSC. No.
You had not served in the governor's office.
No. He also he said something to me that I will build churches for God. That man said that to me. And I now asked the mother, I said, where is your husband? When she knelt down and she was begging. Because I had to ask them, please, who am I that you're kneeling for me? No. Look at my life. I think I'm better off now. I'm better off. So you don't have to beg me. I don't need you to kneel down for me. Please stand up. And she said to me that the father is late. Right. Oh, and that broke my heart because the man actually tried to salvage the situation. He tried his best. So I now broke down in tears and said, that's fine. I said to Ndidi, Ndidi, I've forgiven you. I have, in all honesty from my heart. Because I now have the same... The reason why I left the marriage was because of a male child. Today I have 3 boys.
Woo!
Yeah, so I said, I've forgiven you. I've forgiven you long time ago. I've moved on. I'm not even remembering you. I've never remembered you and all of that. I've put that behind me. It's my past. I've moved on, please. And I had to hold her hands with her mother, and I said a word of prayer. I said, for everything that is holding you back from getting married, I break it in the name of Jesus. We pray, and we had an agreement prayer, and I said, I free you, and I pray for you to go and get married to your rightful husband, because that man is not your husband. He is not your husband. Because if he was your husband, he wouldn't have left you to marry another woman, because eventually he did not marry her. He left her for another woman. And that same woman is no longer with him again. So I said, that is not your husband. Look for your rightful husband. And at the right time, God will give you your heart desire. And that was it. And she left. She also said to me, oh, okay, that she's actually looking for a job. If I have any opportunity to assist her. I said to her, don't worry, just reach out to me time to time. If I have something to give to you, I will. Why not? So I've forgiven you. I've forgiven Oba. Because I think I'm doing better and I'm happier where I am. So why would I want to hold back grudges? No need.
It reminds me of the story of Joseph. Joseph said, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. I advise people, no matter what anybody does to you, don't get so low that you hate them. That is the last you should do, to get to hate anybody.
Anyone.
Because once you become vengeful, hateful, and bitter, you become a perpetual victim of what you're going through. Like I say, life can knock you down, but don't hate. Yes, you can avoid them. You can take yourself off that debilitating situation, but don't become angry. Don't become bitter. Don't hate. Anger, hatred, and bitterness keeps you rot in that place. You rot there because, God has a way. The Bible says that all things work together for our good. So what God is orchestrating to work for good, you now start infusing bitterness inside of it. You knock God's hands out. Don't hate. You're an amazing person. I reckon you to be amazing. And that's very interesting.
Thank you.
Very, very interesting.
Thank you so much.
I don't know what you are going through. I'll tell you again, guys. Don't hate anybody. It doesn't matter what life is making you go through. You have to love. You have to love. You have to love. And let me just drop this there. Men, if you need a male child or a female child, it's in your hand. A woman doesn't biologically have the power to determine the gender or the sex of a baby. I see this oozing ignorance when men put women under pressure for not having children or for having a particular gender. First of all children are equal. Then any gender you need as a man is in your hand. Don't put that innocent woman under pressure. We'll be back after this break. Thank you for staying tuned. You're still on to the Dexters Bridge Show, and this story has moved from being melancholic to being very heartwarming. I have to ask you, by the way, you are the second guest on this show who has gone through a bad marriage and resurged and found love again. And there's something about these women who have a second shot at love and they're doing so well. We thank God for people like you. How did you find this Prince Charming? Because I've heard you say so many things about him, even during the course of this show. You're always all over him. So how did you find, how did you meet, or how did he find you, whoever found each other?
Okay.
How did you meet your husband? Your second husband.
Yeah, my second husband. I met him in Diamond Bank. I was posted to Diamond Bank. So the first day I walked into the office, I saw him. I could remember the picture very clear. He was in a white t-shirt and a black trouser.
Oh, Jesus.
He was holding a glass of cup and trying to sip.
And you just photographed
him. I walked in and I said to myself, there is this connect. I had this feeling, like inside of me, that I was going to have something to do with this guy. It has to be divine. Because from your story, you've been meeting men. Exactly. So at this point, in fact, they were dragging me at some point. So for you to see this one and say, this is the man, it just had to be divine. This is this man. But at that point, when I met my husband, I had somebody who was taking care of me and my children, who wanted to marry me, but the love wasn't there. And I didn't want to settle for money. I wanted to settle for love. Wow. My husband was my boss, relatively my boss, because he was head of operations. No, he was a cash officer back then, and I was posted as a marketer. Workplace romance. Exactly. So, and he saw me and he said to me, hi, are you a new staff? And all of that. And I said, yes. So after a while, I went to Lagos for training, and I got back from training, and as the moment I landed in Asaba, I walked straight to the office. I went straight to the office, and I went to his office, and he said, wow. He said, the moment he saw me, even he knew, I like this girl, I like her. He didn't know I was married. I had 2 daughters before, but from the discussions and gist, as we got talking and all of that, so he knew. And he didn't mind? Yeah, it wasn't, we didn't just start discussing marriage. He had somebody he was going out with, though he wasn't serious relationship with. I had somebody I was in serious, but we were both seeing each other, you know, and you know,
the other one scattered. This other one scattered.
So the guy I was going out with was possessive over me. He had this attitude of it has to be him, and you know, my family. He was all over my family, my mother, and all of that, my siblings. In fact, my husband was a no-no for my family. Even when he wanted to marry me, my mother refused, and it was public. One of the days we were in Redeemed Christian Church of God for a program, and I went for an offering, and on my way back, the pastor stopped me and said, "Where's my mother?" I said, "My mother is here." And the pastor said, "Mama, if you're here, please come out. Free your daughter."
Whoa.
That was what the pastor said to her. He doesn't know. We don't know him from nowhere. No.
Was that your church? Were you a member of that church?
No. We
were just visiting.
My mother was a member of the church. They just, you know, we visited. So the man said, "Free your daughter. Allow her to settle for who she wants to settle down." My mother, before the congregation, held the mic and said, "Pastor, excuse me, I want to say something." No way. You know, because then I was already doing well. I have built the first house. I was driving a brand new car. So I was taking care of her. I rented a house and all of that. So she felt, oh, your husband is just managing and he doesn't have so much money to take care of you and those children. So
okay, maybe
she felt he was a gold digger.
Yes.
That he was coming for because I was doing well and all of that. Remember, that was my mom's mentality. This is somebody who was working. He was earning higher than I do, but because, as a marketer, we always do other businesses and we'll make more money. So she felt, this guy was not for you. But the two of us, even my husband's mother now started, "Hey, Onye Mugonwa, no. My handsome son cannot marry you," and all that. But both of us.
Of course, I understand. Mothers actually mean well for their children.
Yes, exactly.
Incidentally, what you reckon to be protective can actually be hindering that particular child from exploring their God-given destiny.
Yeah.
So you have to marshal your protective tendencies with a pinch of salt. Parents, I'm saying this to you. You want to protect your children from harm, from danger, whatever it is. I understand. But also you should seek to know what is good for them, not just how you want to protect them.
Exactly.
I understand that.
So, and the mother was very protective of him. She loved him so much. Although she's late, may her soul rest in peace. And she fought the marriage. She refused. She refused to give her consent. And but we decided that we want to settle down. My husband loved me. He wanted to settle down with me. Sometimes these days he looked back and he looked at where we are today and he said, "Thank God I didn't allow my parents to push me." So, and I also thank God I didn't allow. Today my mother sees him as the best in-law.
It always happens that way.
Yeah, he's the best in-law. So,
yes.
So, you see my mother saying good things about him and all of. But we before you know it, pregnancy came and we decided to proceed with the marriage, and here we are, blessed with 3 boys, doing absolutely well.
What is his relationship with your daughters?
Wonderful. Can I tell you something? My first daughter will tell me, my husband, it's the kind of husband she wants to have for herself tomorrow.
Wow.
She sees him. Even when I want to tell them something about Daddy, they will say, no, you are the one at fault, not Daddy. Daddy is a gentleman. Daddy doesn't like trouble. The relationship is very cordial because they came in when they were still young, not like when they are grown. So we took them and, we all lived together. My husband had his challenges. People were trying to talk him down, that he ended up. But today, I think the marriage is one of the best. We are the best setter where everybody wants to be like Ada and Val, because we're doing very well. Not like we don't have our issues. We have issues,
Definitely,
but we don't allow third party into our marriage. We settle our issues, and we both do everything together. Businesses, I can't do any business with you without involving my husband. He cannot do. So my husband will even tell you that he wants to. So people think, he wants to consult his wife first before. No, but that's how the marriage is built. And we thank God, so far so good. God has been faithful. God has been blessing us. God has been merciful, and we're happy together.
Lots of inspiring moments, interesting stories to get from your life and from your marriage. Finally, you have this philanthropic move that you do. How, and I know your life has always been about philanthropy and all the stuff. At what point did you think it was time to take it very seriously like you're doing now?
Okay, before I speak on that, I want to say something. Life has not been that easy, not easy in terms of financials and all of that, but in terms of name tagging, if you don't believe in yourself or you don't know who you are, people will talk you down. You hear manner of things about people, and you even sometimes I hear some things about me and I wonder, is this me or somebody else? You know, success attracts a lot of envy.
Exactly.
People who are lazy, I use that word lazy because if you're not lazy, you don't sit down to talk about somebody. If I'm not here to tell you my story, you might not even know what I've been through. I haven't gotten it easy. I have struggled all my life to get to where I am. Now I can sit down in the comforts of in my office and I make money. I don't have to go struggle. I don't steal. I don't defraud people. It is grace, mercy, and the favor. I've been a successful banker. How? I've been diligent. I serve God. I pay my tithe. Whatever He has given me, I said, give me money. I will use it to enrich and bless people. For somebody who wants to be sincere and speak about me in this town, will tell you, oh, you have a problem, go to Ada, she will solve it. So, I've had cases where women sit down to judge me, misjudge me, because that's not me. What God said about me or saying about me is what matters and not what the world is saying. So I care less because I know my relationship with God.
With your God.
And in your very eye, you're speaking about somebody, trying to talk the person down, and you see the person progressing. You need to sit back, or you go to the person and tap into that grace.
And ask, what are you doing?
This is what I tell women. You don't sit down and try to run people down. I don't like to keep malice. I don't like to fight with people. I'm a very happy person. If you follow my social life, you will understand the kind of person I am. Yeah, to some other people, if you don't know me or you see me from afar, you say she's a very proud person. But I'm not, because I know where I'm coming from. Now I will answer you. Philanthropist, for me, it's a call. I was in my office. I am somebody who likes to give, who help people. But this particular NGO thing started while I was sitting down in my office one day and I heard this voice. I said, I need you to bring out 2 million. Buy rice and oil and share to people right in front of your office. I didn't want to listen to that voice. I said, God, you don't come again. Which one is in this? I have something. Which one is I should bring out 2 million?
2 million. And it was specific.
Very specific. I ignored the voice. It came again. This is what I want you to do. You have to do it. The voice came 3 times. And I called my staff. I said, go to the markets, get me prices of rice, bags of rice and oil. They gave me the price. You know, to count 100, 200, 300,000. The voice said, you have to do it. I want to bless you. I want to bless you. I want to announce you. I want to project you.
It was a good thing it wasn't somebody saying it.
No.
God was speaking to you.
He was speaking to me directly. I want to announce you. I had to adhere and I listened to the voice. I sent my staff, they went to the market, bought everything. And I said, okay, I gave them an assignment. I said, go out and look for widows. I was very specific. I said, I don't want young widows. I want old widows. People you know they are actually hungry. Go get me like 50. It was 50 of them. But you know, when this one will hear, you will say to them, I get where they share rice. Let's go. The crowd increased. But to God be the glory, we were able to cater for all of them. And that was how this NGO thing started. My project coordinator today, I don't know her from anywhere. So I posted that charitable work on my page and she went to my DM and she said, I don't know you, but God said I should work for you. Mama, God is calling you for a ministry. That was what she said to me. And I said, please, I don't know you. I'm even scared of talking to people on Facebook. Holy Spirit said I should let you come into my life. Come. She came to my office and we got talking and, that's how Adaora.
Show your payroll?
She was, yes, I pay her. Pay her every month. I've got her a car. She has relocated outside Asaba. She's in Port Harcourt, but she comes in anytime we're having any program. She's been able to organize and put, because I'm very busy. So she's practically doing everything. So helping people is as a result of, my experience too. Women suffer a lot. I've been able to organize 1 or 2 programs where I share my life story to inspire and to, to help people. You don't feel rejected. Don't ever feel rejected. It should even be the reason why you should work so hard. Looking at your children should motivate you. You don't look at them and you don't want to give them. It should be a motivating factor for you to want to do well. Don't also look at Ada's marriage is working. She married the first one, it didn't work. This one is not working too. Want to leave your marriage. I tell people, all destinies are not the same. Akalaka. So you have to make sure
things work. Take responsibility.
As long as the marriage, I tell women, my marriage is working because I'm putting in 80%. Yeah, you have to put in 80%. Oh, people say I protect my husband, I sing praises about my husband a lot and all of that. It's helping my marriage. I respect my husband.
And do what works for you.
Yes. My manager, my money ends in the office. Once I'm coming into my house, from the gate, I'm a wife, I'm a mother to my husband. And that's why the marriage is working. I respect my husband a lot. I adore him a lot because he's a responsible man. He's not here, but I will tell you about him. He's a good man. He's a father to the children. Very responsible. Nobody is a saint. But I'm telling you, when it comes to family responsibility, he's a perfect man. He's also a Christian. He fears God. A man who fears God understands and knows his responsibility as a man. Then you as a woman, too, you have to do your own bit.
And know your place.
Know your place and do what you have to do. And you see your marriage working. People complain. I see a lot of bitterness in marriage, a lot of broken homes. If I had known what I know today, too, maybe I wouldn't have gone into that marriage in the first place because that was not what God would be. Yes, it wasn't meant to be. But I tell people these days, you have to make the marriage work. I tell my friend, oh, you want to look up to me. I say, but I sacrifice for my marriage. You have to also sacrifice.
Make sacrifice.
Yes, you must make sacrifice for the marriage. I don't think I'm lacking anything. I have 5 children already. I am doing very well.
God has blessed you.
He has blessed me. So
God has been merciful
for me to bend down and want to be married, what am I looking for? I've got the most handsome husband in the whole wide world. So,
woo! Please stop talking about him. He's not more handsome. It's impossible. Please.
Oh
he's not more handsome than me. Wow, this is
you
my
are.
show.
You actually.
This is
you're
my
a very
show.
handsome man. I told your wife exactly.
And nobody is more handsome than me. Take it to the bank.
All right.
Not your bank because you bounce that check. Yes, Adaora has been a very interesting guest, and I mean, it's been the most didactic episode so far. Very many lessons to be learned, and I must say, among everything that she has said, number one, that God allows us to go through hard times, so He humbles us. One, number two, He fills us with experiences. So when He lifts you up, number one, your bowls of mercy is open, and your milk of human kindness flows freely. Because when you recall what you went through, and you see somebody going through pain, it's easy for you to relate and help them. So if you're going through a hard time now, God definitely has a purpose for your pain. I hear things like, yes, when a man whose wife just gave birth comes to you and you say things like, how come you don't have money? This pregnancy gave you 9 months notice to save. Yes, you are logically correct. But life can happen. Life can hit you. So if you have the means to help them first, then school them later. If you can. If it occurs you to help anybody, help them. So if you're going through a hard time today, just put it in your bag. Like I would say, if life takes you through the valley of shadow of death, take pictures. It will remind you of how God comes to save. It's very important. Then I'll say this also from what you told us. God speaks to people. I believe God can speak through people, but in the New Testament reality, God doesn't speak to you through people first. There's always a voice on your inside. The book of Hebrews, in Hebrews chapter 1 verse 1 says that God, who in sundry times and at diverse occasions spoke to our fathers through the prophets, has in this time spoken to us through his Son. So any believer in the New Testament has the Son of God and Jesus in them, the Holy Spirit. God speaks to you first through your thoughts. Any other external voice is a confirmation. I like the fact that you say that God told you to go and do this. In giving, God will speak to you. Whether it's to give to people, to the church, God will speak to you. Heed that voice. Heed the voice. God speaks. Incidentally, people are so materialistic, so you don't hear when God is saying give. You only hear when he says go and collect.
I can't categorically say to you, since I founded that Adaora Foundation.
Please, what was the name of foundation again?
Adaora.
Adaora.
Yes, my husband's name. Yes, I'm Adaora and Val. So
okay, Adaora.
Help Foundation.
Adaora Help Foundation.
Help Foundation. I've never. It's been from one increase to another increase. From one increase to another increase. From that, people are even amazed. I've heard a couple of things. I've heard people say, "Come, are you sure it's not even COVID money? Which money is? How are them her husband just all of a sudden?" And I said to them, "It's just this year, just live a righteous life."
Human beings are the worst.
You understand? I said the Bible said to us, "We shall lend to many nations and not borrow." We don't borrow. We are the ones lending to people.
They're asking if it's COVID money. Palliative
yes,
money.
Palliative money, because I'm running an NGO. So I said, I've never received 1 naira from any government. Whoa. 1 naira. But I spend millions every year reaching out to people. And God has been giving me back. So definitely, that is what he has called me to do.
God is blessing you to bless people.
That is it.
That's what it is.
That is it. So why would you want to somebody sit down and said, "Are you sure it's not during that COVID?" She was in Canada for 8 months. That was when I had my last child. Okay. So maybe that's what they're eating. Because my husband now runs a finance company. We give people loan and facilities, both contractors and all of that. So
please, nobody should come asking me for loan. Please. But if you feel you are called into the philanthropy ministry, and you don't have what it takes or the time, you don't have the time to set up an NGO, you can partner with them. Of course, you've seen that they're very responsible and your money will meet the aim. And I'll add this also, that the main aim for wealth is not luxury. It's not.
No.
Yes, you can avail yourself some luxury. Like if I make money, I'll buy myself some very good
I can see.
I like it. That means I'll get myself a Fukuda. And Fukuda, if you're hearing this, I love your shoes. But the main aim for wealth is not luxury. Wealth is meant to give back to people, for humanity, for help. So as God is blessing you, you should look for somebody else to help and to bless. And in one sentence, how would you, what's your advice to those who are listening, those who are going through what you went through, and what's your parting word? What's your advice?
Okay. For everyone who is passing through divorce or as a single mother, first thing first, you must build a relationship with God, the God factor. Don't see it as an opportunity for you to start sleeping around. No, the men won't give you the money. They will sleep with you, use you, and throw you. They have their wives. Your relationship with God is what matters. Whether we like it or not, he's a merciful God. He will show mercy to whom he wants to show mercy to. That is God for you. You hold God strong, go on your knees, then utilize every opportunity, look for something, get something doing. I said to people, you have mobile phones, you're always on social media. People make a lot of money via social media, but you're looking for one man to give you money to take care of your children and all of that. No. Rejection should not be the reason why. Don't feel that rejected. Also tell yourself that you can project to a better person. You can become a better person.
Speak to yourself.
Yes. Always encourage yourself. You look at some great women today who are doing great things. In one way or the other, they've passed through some of these issues. Look at them as mentors and see how great they are doing. You don't have to look at people who leave their marriage to start jumping from one man to another, sleeping around, trying to make money or trying to live the luxury life. No. Build a good relationship with your God. Remain focused. Get a business, a viable business that will give you money. And you see yourself, just ask God for favor and mercy. God can connect you in once, connect you to helpers of your destiny. So I encourage any woman who is passing through what I've been through, look at my story today, a beautiful one at that. Today I can smile and say, God is wonderful. Don't give up. Never you give up. Trust God, hold Him, and you'll see Him do mighty things in your life. Thank you.
Great story, great story. We've been talking with Adaora Chukwuma, philanthropist, businesswoman, and banker, and she's the director of Adaora Health Foundation. Her story has been very, very inspiring. And you can see the contact, how you can get across to them on the screen now. Reach out to them. If you are going through a challenging time, they can help you in any way that they can. No pressure, be it an advice, counseling, or any help they can render. Your life also can be an inspiring story. Thank you for staying tuned and for watching this episode. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles as they're showing there, and subscribe to this channel. It's one way of pushing our message to more people. Click on the subscribe button, and if you have any way you want to partner with us, reach out to us also so we can take this message to more people. Till we'll see you next time. Stay lifted. God bless you.